Ange Postecoglou's next 3 games are versus Aston Villa, Manchester City and West Ham. But how should Ange line up his players in a tactical manner and in terms of a creative side? Let's get straight into the video. So, we'll be talking about Villa, City, West Ham. Simple. They're all very, very similar teams. Very, very similar teams. I think they're very strong, very physical teams as well. I want to start off with in a kind of Aston Villa way. So, Bissouma won't be playing because he's injured. He's not injured. He's suspended for 1 match. So, that's good because he'll be back for City. But I think we need to win every single 1v1 battle. In terms of a tactical side, the main tactic for this game will be get the ball to the wingers and win every single 1v1 battle you got. Because if you win every single 1v1 battle you got, you can now you can sort of like have possession of the ball and calm the game down. You can put you can set the intensity of the game when you got the ball. And if you win the 1v1 battles, then you already set the tempo of the game. That's just my opinion. Guys, I want you guys to comment that down below. Do you agree or not? Up to you guys. Now, in terms of the creative side, wingers are crucial for this. And something Sav has said in previous videos is that our wingers need to go on this weaker foot. You know, Johnson and Kulusevski both need to go on their weaker foot a bit more to create more chances. Now, for City, the creative side will be coming again from the wingers, but it will be coming more of a counter-attacking team in terms, in my opinion. I think we got Bissouma back, and we got obviously Udogie back for Aston Villa as well. Udogie's back for City. But I'm terrified for one thing. One thing is Erling Haaland versus Eric Dyer. Erling Haaland versus Eric Dyer. Oh my days! Only God can help us with that. I mean, wow. Can you imagine counter-attacking Erling Haaland versus Eric Dyer? Lads, I think this is going to be one of the games where either Ange gets this right tactically or incorrectly. No, it is what it is. I think in terms of a tactical side, Bissouma has to play a crucial role in terms of going forward and going back. He's got to not be a box to box because he's a defender, but he's got to be going up, helping more in terms of that creative side, but also really coming back to help with that defensive side. Because I don't think our creative midfielder, which would be Bentancur, will do much because I think Rodri will be shutting him down instantly. Therefore, it leaves for only one element of a creative manner for this game, and that is both wingers, Brennan Johnson and Dejan Kulusevski. Like I said, for Aston Villa, they need to create stuff on the wing. They need to either cut in, or go on the outside. Now, I'm gonna add also another little element to this Man City game. I'm gonna add a little thing, and I think the inverted fullbacks are also crucial for this game because if we can overload again the midfield against City, it leaves the wingers very free. And we can't do that. We can't let their wingers be free. We can't let Doku be free when Pedro Porro is inverted. I know we only invert when we go forward, but on a counter-attack, I'm sorry, Doku's rapid, he's getting past Porro. So we need to somehow place ourselves in terms of the fullbacks, not too inverted, but inverted enough to overload that midfield. Versus West Ham. Versus West Ham is an interesting one because we got Romero back. Hallelujah. We got Udogie. We have to go back to OG Ange Ball. And that is to overload the midfield in the area. Overload with inverted fullbacks, and creativity will come from the creative midfielder in terms of Bentancur. I don't put the cells in that creative midfielder. Don't see him like that. Honestly, I don't see him like that. Bentancur has to create stuff versus West Ham. Our wingers won't do much versus West Ham because I just don't believe that's where our creative side will come from. I think the most creative element we got versus West Ham is that creative midfielder, and that will be Bentancur. Unless a miracle happens and Maddison is back ready somehow, but no chance, he's not going to be ready. So yeah, West Ham is going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping Ange goes back to obviously Ange way. Ange did say he's never going to change his in terms of high line defense, but I think versus Manchester City is going to be very, very, very difficult to play a high line because of just how fast the players are. Aston Villa, I don't know if you guys watched the Aston Villa versus Fulham game where it ended. I think it was, what was the score? Aston Villa versus Fulham. I think it was 3-1, wasn't it? It was 3-1. I was correct. I should back myself next time. 3-1 for Aston Villa. And they were very, very aggressive. And that's the thing. Losing, I said this before, losing key figures such as Bissouma, such as Van der Ven and Romero. I'm not saying key figures in terms of a technical side of their play style. I'm talking about the physical element to their game. Losing them versus Aston Villa is gonna be a very, very hard thing to take, because Aston Villa, I would say, are up there with one of the strongest, physically strongest teams in the Prem. Let's be honest. I mean, if you saw us crumbling to Wolves in terms of that physical 1v1 battle, you saw Basuma was nowhere there versus Wolves. Obviously, Højbjerg is going to be the replacement for Basuma versus Aston Villa. I think he's gonna play a crucial part into this game versus Aston Villa. For Man City, like I said, obviously the creativity will come from the wide wingers, but it doesn't mean that their midfielders shut off, because City are filled with quality all around the pitch. They've got plenty of midfielders that can come in, come out, come in, come out. They got plenty of. They're going to be playing with Julian Alvarez and Haaland against Eric Dyer and I'm gonna guess probably Davis. And I don't know. I'm just saying, Vicario. It's not on him. At the end of the day, I want him to play well, but I don't want him to concede stupid goals, because a lot of people will look at the stats at the end of the day and say Vicario is crap, but he really isn't. He's a top keeper. I'll tell you that. He's a top keeper. I wouldn't say world class, but he's top keeper. But then against West Ham, like I'm gonna say this again, against West Ham, we need to go back to the OG Ange. But when I say back, I'm saying back because Man City, I think Ange shouldn't stick with the high line. He should just take it back a little bit. That's what I'm saying, back in the West Ham game. So in the West Ham game, I think he should go back to Ange Ball in terms of overload the midfield, obviously, with Emerson and Pedro Porro coming in, because they don't have too much threat on the wingers. I think most of their threat come from the midfield. Paqueta, obviously, but obviously Bowen's on very, very good form. But I'm just saying, most of their threats are coming from midfield, and we again for that. I think specifically for Ange Ball, winning 1v1 duels is so key to his game. I don't know if you guys saw the the heat map of Bissouma versus Wolves, and then Bissouma versus I think it was Fulham. I want to say Fulham. I can't remember. I think it was Tottenham versus Fulham. I'm gonna say it was Tottenham versus Fulham, because when you look at Tottenham versus Fulham, you can see Basuma was more involved with the game in a way. I don't think it was Fulham. I can't remember, but there was some heat map where it shows that Basuma, when he's involved in the game, there's more of a creative element to the game than when Basuma's not involved. Because Wolves, he wasn't involved with the game at all. You can see his heat map. He wasn't involved with the game, and there was no creative side. Although you can blame that on Pape Sarr, but we need to have someone who can ping balls in like Madison does. We're not going to get someone like that, but we need someone like that. So therefore, coming out this video, I want you guys to smash the subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and just comment down below if you agree with my takes on these three upcoming fixtures. Obviously, Aston Villa going to be tough battle. City, tough battle. West Ham, look, I'll be honest, all three of these are tough battles. Comment down below, how many points are we going to get out of these three games? Comment down below, come on you Spurs, and have a good one.